All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We are looking at a literally mind-bending computational challenge today. Exactly how artificial intelligence represents semantic meaning in Indian languages. We're talking languages like Sanskrit, Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, and Tamil. If you've ever wondered how a computer actually gets the underlying logic of human speech, well, this is an absolutely incredible case study. Representing meaning in these morphologically rich languages means fundamentally rewiring how AI parses language. We're just talking about swapping out dictionary words here. We're talking about building entirely new computational structures to capture meaning in places where traditional, widely used models completely fall apart.
So, to really appreciate the fix, we kind of have to understand the mechanics of the problem first. Standard natural language processing, or NLP pipelines, were built from the ground up for English, right? And they rely heavily on positional embeddings. Basically, in English, the order of words is the primary indicator of meaning. The dog bit the man is obviously a totally different situation than the man bit the dog. Traditional pipelines build these rigid little syntactic trees based entirely on that adjacency. But because they use that specific word order syntax as their foundational spatial roadmap, they completely break down when applied to languages where that roadmap just doesn't exist. If semantic meaning isn't strictly tied to where a word sits in a sentence, an AI relying on word positions is essentially flying blind.
And there's just a huge, stark contrast between these linguistic systems. English demands this super rigid, linear structure. Indian languages, however, are highly inflectional and morphologically rich, which basically means they have a relatively free word order. Computationally, this is wild. It means the grammatical data is attached directly to the words themselves, using affixes, rather than being dictated by a strict subject-verb-object sequence. Because the words carry their own grammatical instructions baked right in, you have the freedom to dynamically shuffle the sentence all over the place. It's incredibly fluid. To a human speaker, the meaning remains perfectly clear, but to a standard NLP algorithm that is hard-coded to expect fixed structural positions, total crash. They simply don't know how to parse meaning out of morphology alone.
To solve this modern tech failure, developers actually turned to a ridiculously elegant, ancient, dependency-based model, the Paninian grammatical framework. Specifically, they focused on Kataka theory. What makes this an absolute game changer for AI is how it maps the surface form of a sentence, like the exact string of words as they're spoken or written, directly down to its deep underlying semantic level. Standard phrase structure grammars try to group adjacent words into rigid noun or verb phrases, right? Well, this dependency-based model doesn't care about that. It focuses entirely on the direct, logical links between the words themselves. It gives us the exact computational blueprint we need to accurately represent semantic meaning, totally independent of the sequence those words happen to arrive in. The real magic of this framework is how it structures the computational graph of a sentence. I want you to imagine the verb, or kriya, as the sun. It's the absolute central hub of your linguistic solar system. In a computational dependency graph, that verb acts as the primary root node. And every other nominal word, all your nouns and pronouns, they're like planets orbiting that central verb. They connect back to the root node through specific labeled edges. We call these semantic syntactic relations, these vital connections between the noun nodes and the central verb action, karakas. Doing it this way shifts the AI's focus completely away from sentence order and centers it strictly on the action and the actors. By analyzing these connections, the AI builds a highly structured semantic map of the event. There are basically 6 universally applicable karaka relations that fill specific computational slots. First up, you have the core participants, the karta, which is the agent doing the action, and the karma, the object directly affected by it. Next, we map the mechanics of the event. The karana acts as the instrument used to accomplish the task, while the sampradana identifies the recipient. Finally, we ground the action in reality, using the apadana for the source or starting point and the adhikarana for the spatial or temporal location. By parsing a sentence into these 6 distinct thematic roles, the parser creates this mathematically pristine, predictable matrix of exactly who did what, with what, to whom, and where. Now here's why this model flawlessly bypasses the whole English word order problem. These karaka relations are identified by explicit little semantic tags called postpositions or vibhakti case markers. In Hindi, we're talking about small markers like ne, ko, se, or par. The NLP parser basically treats these vibhakti as clear metadata tags. They tie the meaning directly to the nouns themselves. So the moment the AI reads that tag, boom, it immediately knows exactly what thematic role that noun plays and snaps it directly into the correct node on the dependency graph.
Because of this, you could literally reverse or completely scramble the entire string of words, and it just doesn't matter. The underlying computational graph stays 100% intact, because those postpositions keep the semantic meaning firmly tethered to the correct entities no matter where they sit in the sentence.
And all of this brings us to what is basically the holy grail of machine translation, a functional interlingua. Here is the mechanics of how it bridges the gap. Step 1, the parser captures those syntactic markers, the vibhakti. Step 2, it maps those markers directly to the thematic roles we just talked about. This effectively distills the sentence down into a pure, language-independent logical framework. That framework is the interlingua. So let's say a system parses a Hindi sentence, uses the markers to build this purely mathematical graph of meaning. Well, at that point, the AI literally no longer cares that the input was Hindi. It holds the pure semantic intent in its graph, and it can output that exact graph directly into Tamil grammar or Bengali syntax. It completely bypasses English as a middleman, giving us highly accurate direct semantic representation across fundamentally different languages.
It really is a profound realization for the field of natural language processing. The secret to unlocking AI for morphologically rich Indian languages wasn't found by trying to brute force English syntax onto languages where it simply didn't belong. Actually, scratch that. It was the exact opposite. It required embracing a semantic representation framework designed specifically for how these languages fundamentally operate. The computational elegance of mapping syntactic markers directly to thematic networks creates this incredibly robust, highly scalable system. It really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What other deeply established linguistic frameworks are just waiting to be adapted into the computational logic that will drive the future of truly global technology? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking questions, and I'll catch you on the next one.